I just want everyone to know that when it comes to doing artwork with certain utensils or certain expensive equipment or non-expensive equipment, it doesn't really matter what you use. What matters is the result that you get from what you're using. Okay, because remember, everything that we have is a tool. Whether it's Photoshop, whether it's pen, pencil, acrylic paints, doesn't matter. So if you are drawing along with me right now, and you have your sketchbook out, and you just want to doodle something for the night, maybe you've kind of lost your way as far as finding that motivation that'll keep you drawing, just draw along with me. You have an excuse to draw something scary this time, just because it's, Halloween season. And maybe you're watching a horror movie tonight, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm testing out this pen from Bastion, and this is the first full drawing that I'm doing. So I'm actually recording myself for the first time drawing with this pen. And I have to say it's pretty lovely. It's a higher end pen, so I'm not used to using the heavier, more, I guess, fancy pens. I use Bic Ballpoint from Walgreens or Walmart, whichever one. But every now and then, I do like to splurge and experiment. And Bastion was kind enough to send me one of their freaking amazing carbon fiber and stainless steel bolt action pens. So you can see here, I don't know if the light's catching it really well, this is carbon fiber right here. This is stainless steel, very heavy duty. When you carry something, it's a product, and you feel the weight, and if it feels heavy enough, it kind of feels more important. That's the impression that I got from Bastion. They sent me this, and it's been incredible, And just to show you the packaging, check this out. Okay, so I have this nice carrier right here. Comes undone like this. Styrofoam. Pen sits right in here like that. And then it has a protector, and then you close it like this. And it even has a magnet on it. So there's Bastion. Really nice quality all around. And then you just open it by pulling that apart, taking this off, and then you pull that out. Very well protected. And then just to top it off, this is the package that it actually is wrapped in. So write your own story. On the back it says, "At Bastion, we believe everyone writes their own story. Whether you spend it making plans, achieving your goals, or reflecting on your success, every day is a new page. Bastion guarantees your pen performs." So, without further ado, let's put this to good use. So you can see here I'm kind of doing a more stylized skull/ghoul. Now, the other part of tonight's video, yes, I'm filming at night. This is more of a ballpoint pen lesson too. Okay, it's not just a sponsor or anything like that, but I just wanted to show you, if you're lost as far as what mediums to use, or you having trouble with motivation, try using different mediums. Okay, just make sure you watch this video all the way through, because at the end of the video is going to be linked to another video that I did using acrylic markers, and I love it. The markers are great. My kids love them, and that's one of the coolest things that you could do as an artist. Like say you're with me and you've been doing traditional art all of your life. I just noticed that that's out of perspective. Hold on a second. Oh, that's awful. Okay, hold on. If I turn this way, this eye is not quite right. I just caught that. So I want to make sure that the brow ridge is up, and then the eye would be right about there. There we go. Funny, now that I corrected that, the look got a little meaner, but the orbital bone and all that definitely going to be wider out there. Okay, there we got it. Now it's kind of looking like a little alien, maybe? I don't know, like a little extraterrestrial. Not xenomorph. A little alien. I could probably put some good hatching in there. Man, I really feel the weight from this pen. It feels fantastic. I think so far, like the carbon fiber on the outside here is a little slippery in my hand, but it could just be that my hand's kind of cold. I don't know. But as far as the material goes, like the stainless steel and just the weight, it feels good in the hand. So when I'm hatching back and forth, I know that I will not lose my placement, which is a gripe of mine that I have, even with Bic Ballpoint, because I use Bic Ballpoint all the time. Okay, so right now I'm just exploring with hatching and shapes. There we go. And I think instead of the traditional mouth, I'm going to give it a rather horrific looking palette. But another thing that I want to talk about when drawing with pen is that if you feel confident drawing with pencil, like you know the lines going down, you're not afraid of experimenting with the lines. When you sketch with pen, just make sure that when you're overlapping them, that you barely press on the tip of the pen. Because what happens is you get blotches and you risk ink blotching or bleeding. And you definitely don't want that. Which is always, it's a thing of mine that I tell my students where if you're about to sketch with a pen, do a little bit of testing up here in the corner. You know, like just give some marks here and there. And if it's coming out evenly and there's no dripping, there's no blotching, there's no spotty marks, then you're good to go. And of course, this is a brand new pen. I just took it out of the packaging, so I don't really have to worry about that. But you never know. Sometimes I've bought new pens and man, you're talking about a lot of bleeding. Okay, so right now, one of the techniques that I have with the pen, it carries over from my pencil techniques, but you keep it light in your hand. Even though I'm gripping close to the tip, which is detail oriented, I still hold it about halfway back. And with a ballpoint pen, you want to tilt your pen to the side and barely press on the tip, and you will get shading, but it's usually singular directional hatching. I'm barely pressing. And then what I'll do is I'll turn my sketchbook like this and make sure that I hit that in a different direction, similar to my shading technique. The only thing is when it comes to a pen, you're probably going to have to double the amount of directions that you go in order to cover a full area and for it to be shaded. Okay, it's not like pencil where the graphite spreads on however the paper is toothed, I guess you can say. Okay, so what was going to be a horror thing, well, actually it could probably still be scary. Okay, let's do that. But I do want to give an indication of where some of these teeth are going to be growing out of. Maybe it's got a snaggle tooth. There we go. Whenever you're drawing creatures, and characters for that matter, especially mutated ones or something, it's always cool to have some asymmetry, just so that you can leave it up to the imagination for anybody viewing it and yourself. Be excited about it. Be like, what's the backstory with this thing? Yeah. It's pretty gross, huh? And I can draw the muscles down there and the tendons. Probably make the head just a little bigger out here, but I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on that head part. All right, there we go. Hopefully you're drawing along with me. One of the things that I like doing whenever I draw is, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen me do this before, I like tilting the paper. I tilt the paper, but I don't change the direction that I'm applying the strokes. Okay, remember that. A lot of times we screw up our own drawings because what happens is, see that you guys are viewing this because my sketchbook is tilted just a little bit. And we find this comfort zone, this comfortable direction that our arm sits on the paper. And any line that we make while we have that arm locked into place feels the most comfortable. The problem is we lose that comfortability when we turn our hand to create a stroke, instead of turning the sketchbook, just turn the sketchbook. That way your hand will always make good lines. Now, that doesn't suggest that you should not learn how to make lines in different directions. No, you definitely should. Okay, like if you're only comfortable with making straight lines going back and forth this way, you should also make them vertically and horizontally. But that's just an example. Okay, now I gotta lift this up a little bit just to make sure that it is, that's decent. Okay. The other thing is, I'm trying to make this a little bit more meaner, and I guess that'll help. Definitely got to put in the rest of the anatomy for the skull, because you don't want to make up too much stuff when it comes to any humanoid shapes, because you're going to lose that frame of reference that we as humans have whenever we view characters. That's the thing. I see it a lot in portfolios too. When people do character work, sometimes it's almost so weird that we don't have a frame of reference and we can't tie it into anything that we might have seen before. Ugh, I almost screwed that eye socket up. Definitely don't want to do that. All right, the other thing that I want to mention about Bastion, I'm just loving this pen, by the way. Thank you, Bastion, is the excellent quality and the smooth, I mean, everything's smooth. It's really, really good. It's got a solid, secure body, protects ink cartridge, which is easily replaceable, by the way, and the ink you can get in black, red, or blue. So it's really, really nice. All right, so I'm just going to put in some slight shading in there, not too much, because this is a trap that a lot of people fall into when they start to shade with ink, and that is hatching and shading with ink. You have to layer it very differently than you would with graphite. Graphite spreads apart because graphite it's a mineral and it breaks apart. The paper breaks it apart. You can't break apart ink. So that means that you have to be very, very careful and light about it. So see this little area up here that I'm shading, I probably will go back to that. You can see that I kind of travel back and forth with my sketches. Put maybe a little hair lip in there. I don't know. Be kind of cool. Give it some character. Got that. Obviously this creature has no lip. As I've been drawing this face, I don't know why, I kind of just got a vision of Red Skull and Captain America fighting Red Skull. I don't think Red Skull get enough credit. Hugo Weaving never really got enough credit for playing him, but all right, there we go. So you can see here, same thing with pencils, keeping them sharp, but the precision lines that are crisscrossing and overlapping. Take advantage of that, everyone. If you're drawing right now and you're drawing with a pen and you're worrying about every vein and every wrinkle and hair and scale, instead, why don't you just let your hand wander across your drawing? Especially if you're doing a creature that has scaly skin or wrinkly skin, and let all the lines crisscrossing form its own texture. Like all of this that just happened organically, I wouldn't have thought about that. It wouldn't have been premeditated. I would have just been like, okay, there needs to be 3 wrinkles in the temple because it's opening its mouth and the skin bends around the ear. I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm just going to put something crazy in there and hope for the best. There we go. This is experimenting. The only real attention that I want you all to put on this creature is probably in the eye. And even that, I don't even know if it's successful yet. Okay, it's like a big black area inside there. I'm going to give this mysterious Clint Eastwood glare. There we go. Okay, and then as far as up here, probably not going to be a lot of muscle to this creature. It's not even human, but it's very emaciated. But I am going to furrow that brow. Give it some wrinkles to make it seem like, oh, maybe it is a little angry, but thinking a little bit. There we go. And then this is when you really start to add some character to it. Everybody can draw a skull if they want to. But what about your skull is going to make it unique? It's kind of like if you're a 3D artist and you do the obligatory wooden crate. Okay? If you want to be an environment concept artist, everybody does a crate. But what are you going to put on that crate that's going to make it your own? So same thing with a character's face. Okay, so those of you that want to get into character art and character concept art, which are two different things. Character artist, if you ever hear that like if you're job hunting, you hear it in a title. If the word concept isn't in the title, you can better believe that you're going to be doing 3D. If it's a character concept artist, then you're going to be doing concepts. You'll be doing a little 3D too, even with just character concepting. But just remember that. But every little bit helps. All these little details in the face. Look at all that layering that I did. You guys are watching this unfold real time. Me using this awesome pen from Bastion, which I highly recommend. If you check the link in the description below, you're going to get 20% off. I would take advantage of that if I were you. So check out the links in the description below. Notice how I said links. So the first link is about Bastion, obviously. And then the other ones, I want to mention that, I run a mentorship. And I've resurrected my mentorship several months ago. And I help students with marketing their art. I help them with Drawing Fundamentals 101. I've been teaching for over a decade now. I've taught at university in person. I've been teaching online. I've been running workshops online. I run my own mentorship. And I see a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot, both good and bad, over the years, if you want to learn how to draw. So if you email me at bobbyrepholtz@gmail.com, I will help you. We'll set up a little consultation. We'll talk about what your short and long-term goals are, and we'll go from there. And if you're not really ready for it, that's okay. But I want to let you know that I take all skill levels, even if you're a noob. Even if you, for the first time tonight, as you sit here watching me use this awesome pen from Bastion, you're drawing a stick figure for the first time, and you want to be a better artist, hit me up. I promise you, I'll at least talk to you. Find out what your goals are, what you want to do. If you want to do this as a hobby for the rest of your life, or you're really serious about your art. Because let's face it, art is very therapeutic. It is. It's like people that want to jog, people that want to go fishing, whatever it is. Drawing was always my outlet. I loved sports. I played when I was younger. Climbed trees, stayed up late, came home when the street lights are on. I'm an 80s child. That was our curfew, and it worked. I was a BMX biker for years. I was a break dancer for years. Did all that stuff. You better believe that I drew. I was like a passion. There we go. So check the link in the description for 20% off on this amazing Bastion pen. Oh, by the way, patented bolt action release. And it also has a very tough metal clip right there. You know how clips on pens just break, especially the plastic lid, not lids, the lids. The plastic lids to pens, when you put them in the back to write something, you go to clip it to your notebook. Yeah, they always break, or they bend. Or like back in the day, you just chewed on them too much. Let me just tell you something, these don't break, okay? It's a lot of fun. I also have a big announcement. All right, I wanted to save this until in the middle of the video. So I run a Discord, Creature Design Workshop, and I ran a creature design workshop through that Discord. Okay, and it was it's been a monthly thing. So what that was, it was a condensed version of a course I've been teaching online for the past 8 years at Computer Graphics Master Academy. All right, so I run a course there called I run a course there called Creature Design for Film and Games. I teach you how to draw, how to render, how to research, do all the cool stuff. If you wanted to be a creature concept artist for games and movies, I am no longer doing the Discord workshop anymore. You can still join the Discord, obviously. It's a bustling community. I highly recommend it. Join the Discord. There are artists of all levels there. We got beginners, we got semi-pro, we have hobbyists, and we have industry veterans in there. We have monthly creature design challenges where I give the brief. We have some awesome mods that are helping me out. And let's face it, guys and girls, that Discord is blowing up because it's hitting 4,500 members already and counting. We have sketchbook forums where you can post your doodles, your work in progress. We have critique forums. We have a huge reference cache, and it's added to every single day. Okay, definitely. But let's get back to what I was talking about. So I run creature design for film and games through CGMA, which is Computer Graphics Master Academy. And it's an 8-week intensive course. Please check the link in the description below. Now, this course that I run is seasonal. Okay, so the creature design workshop through the Discord wasn't. It was monthly. It was a condensed version. I am no longer running that because as the channel grows, I can't do it anymore. Okay, it's almost too many. So, creature design for film and games. Take that course. I love teaching it, and I love seeing the progress that all of you have through it. Early signups have started for winter, so check the link in the description. You can sign up now if you want for winter. Always keep track, bookmark it. Okay. A lot of awesome artists have come through CGMA in general. They're a great platform, great learning, great online learning school. And as you listen to me, you've seen this crazy thing come into fruition. Now, something that I always do whenever I draw, especially a creature, is I ask the public to come up with a name. So those of you watching this right now, what should we name this? I'm going to call it a fella. This is not a female, so this is some demonic creature dude. What should we name it? I like hearing sides of both spectrums, you know. The crazy names are the really funny ones, like, oh, this is Chuck. Or it's something like Delombantia, or some kind of demon that you would conjure. All right, so let's finish up this guy. Now notice how I'm just ghosting in with simple movements of where I want that bottom jaw placed. There's a lot of hanging flesh here. I'm keeping the pen very loose. One of the great things I love about Bash, and I've mentioned this before, but now I'm putting it to the true test, how this can handle gestural lines quickly. So a lot of times, even if you have a very good light touch with your hand when you're drawing with pen, the ink doesn't appear on the page. This one does, and I'm really happy to say that. So what I mean by that is I don't want to push hard, okay? And if you have good control with your hand and you're trying to draw with ballpoint pen and it doesn't show up and then you have to push harder, it's kind of annoying. But this one, you don't have to worry about that. I'm barely pressing and enough ink comes out to where it looks meaningful. It almost looks intentional. Almost. It does look intentional. There we go. I just want to make sure that the details around here, the bottom of the jaw, they're not as pronounced because this isn't an important area. What is important is this. This is my selling point. So those of you that are doing characters, just make sure, you know what, this thing needs a tongue. But what I'm saying is if you're doing character work, it needs a focal point. The character needs a focal point. Why are we supposed to look at it? If you're an aspiring character concept artist or a creature concept artist, stop drawing what everybody else is doing. Because the people that are trying to hire people see it every day. They're sick and tired of seeing the same mage, the same elf, the same wizard, the same dragon. Put your own spin on it. What makes it different? Okay. For this one, I put a little snaggletooth in there and maybe a human tongue instead of a long venom-like tongue that we've seen in Marvel. Okay, and then all of a sudden, I might put a scar, not the Sub-Zero scar that runs down there, but maybe there's something a little crazier that can run up the forehead. Okay, the unconventional scarring. Like that. And then you put a little bit of detail around the scar and not on it, because the skin is different. Remember that. The surface quality inside of a scar mark is different than the texturing around it. Just look at your body. Look at all the scars. Well, hopefully you don't have a lot of scars, but just look at any scars that you have. There's a reason it's discolored. The skin doesn't grow back normally. Inside the nose here, I'm going to make it crooked. I'm not going to give it a bat nose. Even though the front has been seen a million times as far as missing a nose because it's semi-rotted, I want to give a sense of wonder in there, like, that doesn't look like a normal nostril. Okay. You know, we could probably put some dripping saliva down here. Like I said at the beginning of the video, everyone, 'tis the season to be scared. Okay? Stock up on all your horror movies. Speaking of horror movies, I have not seen Terrifier 3 yet, but I am very excited about it. I love Terrifier. Art the Clown is becoming iconic, if not being iconic already. But, man, you're talking about something cool going on. Okay. Another technique that I like doing is called pen brushing. Okay. I didn't really coin that, I just felt like it was the best way to describe it. But if I have an area that I drew where there's a good amount of detail, but not really enough, I'll brush the pen back and forth like this. And it's almost like little waves. Because the way I like to view it and say it is, you know, this is still a paintbrush. You can still paint with a pen. There we go. You can probably hear it too through the camera. See, now I'm hatching. Now I'm going in different directions and I'm hatching. And I like also doing the straight line technique of shading, where I barely scrape the surface with the ball of the pen. And all of the layering that I put on prior to that is adding to that texture. So then if I just want to do it again, those big wrinkles are showing through the tiny, tiny little hair marks that I'm putting on here. So my texturing is taken care of. And then another technique that I like doing with the pen is I like to make my hand spasm, shake uncontrollably on top of the texture to what looks like small bits and pieces of rotted flesh are sitting on it. And I push harder in certain areas and release pressure so that it looks like a lot of layering is happening. Can you imagine how long this would take if I was worried too much about every single piece of detail? I ain't doing that. Ain't nobody got time for that. There we go. Alright, so by the eye, remember when I said the eye is going to get most of the attention? That's what's happening. Okay, now, that's becoming like a sea of goop, so I'm just going to darken some of the ridges in here. Maybe some of the pieces of flesh are hanging out. There's a growth. There's like a cut in the cheek. There we go. Now that's really showing up. Do you see how gestural I left the rest of the face? It's because I don't care about it. All I care about is this. Okay, and then maybe some of the jaw. The ear, that's not really where the ear is, but we're just having fun with it because you know the temple and the jawbone sit right there. Okay, but we can put in a little bit of it, and then maybe some of the neck coming down. Maybe it's crooked. Maybe put some of the trapezius muscle hanging up here, and it's leaning over. So if you have a name for this thing, I would love to hear it. And I think we need to pronounce that chin a little bit. Give it a point. There we go. So, I want to thank the sponsor for today's video, Bastion. Bastion, you have an awesome pen here. awesome, I have to say. This is my first complete drawing with you guys, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the quality of this. Good weight to it. The ball itself with the ink doesn't blotch. Bolt action right here is great. Carbon fiber is awesome. Good grip. Awesome job, guys. Check the link in the description below if you want 20% off. And if you're going to follow that awesome link, make sure you put in draw20 for the code in order to get that discount. And I'll have all that info in the link in the description too. Check out our Creature Design Workshop Discord if you want to learn how to draw, collect reference, if you want to talk to like-minded people, if you're there just to peruse the different channels, or if you're really serious about what you want to do with your artistic career. Definitely join that. It's free. And then if you want to take my Creature Design for Film and Games course, online course, winter signings, I believe the winter signings early have signed. I believe the early sign-up period has started for the winter, which starts in January. There. Now I sound like a robot. I had to do that. There we go. If you're interested in my mentorship, if you want to get better at specific things, I'm here to help you. Please email me at bobbyrebholz@gmail.com. Spots are very limited right now. I only have a couple, so just let me know. All right. There's our ghoul for October. Consider that my only Inktober submission. I should probably do more Inktober. I should. I just want to let you all know that you've been awesome. Thank you for your support on my channel. Can't believe just watching it and what it's done over the past year has been so much fun. I just love helping people, love teaching people how to draw. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.